Man, this is lifestyles of the poor and unfucking fortunate. But I tell you what, but bitch, we got views.
Long after that y'all ended up doing Flossaphy. Like, how quick did y'all get into working on that after, or were y'all already working on it? Because that was back when you could get an album and sit on it because there was no streaming or
yeah, but you know
YouTube
what?
Wasn't a thing yet.
I don't think we waited very long.
No, it said that Flossaphy came out the year after.
And because Picture This, so first of all, like Picture This was a trial and error, right? That was our first time attempting all that and it was just us on our own. We didn't have no big contacts. We didn't have anyone that's done it before telling us how to do shit.
Yeah. Was that when y'all was hitting all the schools with the flyers and stuff like y'all talking about?
Yeah. We did that every time we dropped something.
Yeah.
We would go around to all the schools in the morning and drop off boxes, which was 30 CDs in a box. We'd drop off multiple boxes to all of our people. And we say, look, you sell them for whatever you want to sell them for, just bring us back $300 a box.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, you circle back around and collect all your money from all them people at every school.
Sound that legal dope, dude. That's what it was.
At every
it was
school.
Legal trapping at that. That's back when you could buy CDs, bro. That's so dope. That's what I
miss it. Yeah.
For sure.
But so I keep getting sidetracked. Sorry, I'm tired. But so Picture This was doing so well. I was at McDonald's in Hermitage, right down here, one night, and this is when Street Flavor was right behind TSC over here, so right down the street. I was at McDonald's in that yellow Caprice, and Stack came through the drive-through, and that's not a fat joke. He really came through the drive-through, and I just happened to see him, and he was looking at me, but it was like he was looking too long. You know what I mean? Like he wanted to speak or something. So I took one of them Picture This CDs over there, just handed it to him through his window. And
y'all were just inside eating or ordering or whatever?
No, I was in the parking lot pimping.
Ah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, PLP.
Only hoes. Yeah.
PLP in it.
And so he came through, and when we just had that awkward fucking lock eyes moment, I just gave him that CD, man, and I don't remember. I think him or Sonny ended up calling the number on the CD, which was Bobby's number at the time. And that's how we ended up down the Street Flavor.
Now, was that for Flossaphy, or was that?
That was straight off Picture This.
Okay.
So when we go to Street Flavor, once it's not just talk, we're actually in here, in Street Flavor. That's when we were going to start working on Flossaphy.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we did. I mean, we cut several records there. It seems like we were there forever, but really it was probably only a year or so.
Yeah.
But we cut a bunch of records that were supposed to go towards Flossaphy. And keep in mind, too, this is during Haystack's peak.
Yeah.
You can't escape Stack during this time.
Right.
So obviously, Stack's the bread and butter. He gets whatever needs to be done. Stack's priority number one. But I would stay in there. I would stay overnight when everybody was gone. Once Dev showed me how to run the board, I would just stay there and do shit on my own all night. Yeah. And then the next day, if I had something ready, Bobby could go record or whatever.
Yeah.
But so it seems like most of our time was like opening up for Stack, going on these runs with Stack, going to these in-stores with Stack. It was kind of like they were introducing us to people via Stack.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I totally get it. I don't know what happened. I just me and Bobby pulled up to Street Flavor one day, and people was carrying shit out of the office. I'm like, well, what are we doing? What's going on? Because I mean, they were carrying the console out, and so I'm like, what's happening? And I don't know who he called, and he was like, yeah, he said Sonny sold Street Flavor. I'm like, what the fuck? Sold Street Flavor?
Yeah,
because it was a blindside to me. Like
I 03. 02?
Late 02.
Yeah.
Late 02.
Okay.
Maybe early 03.
Mm-hmm.
It's some of that.
No, for sure.
Fucking blur. Yeah. But yeah. So we were just kind of shit out of luck, man. But I will say, like, Sonny done so much for us during that little, like, we went to fucking Sony, or it was Universal first, but then that dude went to Sony Urban, then we went to Sony. Like, he didn't just make phone calls and try to shop us. He actually took us to the buildings.
Yeah.
And let us meet with these people.
Like, hey, even though I sold Street Flavor, I'm still gonna help y'all as much.
Yeah,
as I can.
like he even like when he was going on behalf of Stack, like trying to get Stack a deal or whatever he was doing, we would be right there in the room.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, by the way, check these dudes out.
Yeah.
He really went out of his way for us, man. He did a lot of shit he didn't have to do for us.
Yeah.
And
y'all were technically never signed to Street
Never
Flavor,
obligated,
right?
no.
Like he was just going, you was just there using the studio.
We was using the facilities every day. We were on each other's records. Yeah, man. I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then so y'all, that happened, and then y'all just released Flossaphy independently.
Okay,
right?
so what ended up happening is once Sonny sold Street Flavor, we was pretty much like, fuck it, we gotta do it on our own, I guess. And luckily we stirred up such a buzz with Picture This, and then also from being on Street Flavor, there was such a hype around that. Between us and family, like we didn't have any trouble pulling the money together for Flossaphy. And then also we used contacts we made via Street Flavor to get the quality we wanted. Right? Because Picture This was shit quality.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is what it is.
With what you had.
Yeah, it is what it is. Trial and error. We didn't know what we were doing. I thought mixing was nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I didn't have any knowledge of any of that shit. So
you still teaching yourselves pretty much.
but so I learned everything with Dev while I was at Street Flavor, and then the other contacts we made at Street Flavor, which was Dale Babb and Jarek Harper, right? Super quality sound. So that's where we went to record Flossaphy.
Oh, okay, with Babb and them?
Mm-hmm.
Legend out there.
Yeah. I can't remember how many weeks we done. Maybe 2 weeks, 4 weeks. I forgot what it was. But it was like a work schedule. We'd go in for like 8-hour blocks or whatever it was, so many days a week. And
keep in mind, you two, y'all were like 18 years old at the time. 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
Because Bobby's y'all are roughly the same age. So
we are, yeah.
So like y'all were kids still.
Yeah.
Doing this. So like it wasn't like, y'all were grown ass dudes going to do it. Y'all were doing all this trial and error, mind you.
Yeah.
Going to all these big boy
when
studios.
Everyone wasn't a rapper too. So there was no one to get advice from.
Yeah.
Like if you do, yeah.
And a rapper cost so much money back then.
It is that no one could do it. Like just an example, like that the studio time on that I think was like initially it was like $3,500, and then we ended up having to give him more because I think we went over what the deal was or whatever, and that's just the studio time.
That's crazy, dude.
Right? And then we took it to Mark Linger, who was mixing Stax Records, to mix it. That was $5,000. For mixing. Yeah. So that was $5,000. And
that's who mixed Flossaphy?
Yeah. Well, originally.
Yeah.
So we went to pick it up and we started listening to it on the way home, and out the gate I was like, dude, this is fucked up. And Bobby was just kind of like, it's cool. I'm like, no, man, it sounds fucked up. Like, because certain instruments and beats that were like the driving force of the beat
more backgrounded.
or not there at all.
Or just gone. Yeah.
Like the electric guitars on Top Dollar 2 and the strings and shit at the end, they weren't there.
Yeah.
And the snare was so low you couldn't even hear it. So it was almost like it was just like kick drums with no. Yeah, it's like come on, man, we can't do this. And so we had to pay Mark again.
So wait, he wouldn't.
I had to pay Mark again for me to go mix it at Mark's house.
And it wasn't like you're not satisfied, I'll fix it. It was, oh no, that's what you get.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Pretty much. And so I spent a few days at his house and we got it right.
So you're in $10,000 just for the mixing.
Bro.
Just for the mixing.
Yeah. And back to the pulling the money together for the album itself. We set a budget, like we kind of mapped it out, did like a spreadsheet, and we was like, $25,000 should do it. I think if we pull together 25, we can do it.
Yeah.
No, bro.
That's crazy, dude.
You got to think you're $4 or $5 deep at Babs. You're damn near $10,000 with Mark. We ain't even touched mastering yet.
And promotion.
Eric Wolf mastered it. I forgot.
Artwork, videos weren't
photo shoot, but back then, those pictures, those goofy ass pictures you see on that wall, bro, that was like each one of them shoots was like $500.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Eventually, we became so cool with the photographers to where we kind of cut out the middleman, and he would just do them for us by himself, and we throw him $100 bill. But that didn't start happening until 2004. Yeah,
that's wild. So imagine that's back then. Like now, if you give somebody $25,000 for an independent album, you can get a lot done with that 25, bro.
You can, because there's not a lot of physical shit that has to be done.
And you can get visuals for every song.
Well, you got to think. So imagine what I told you we already spent just in the audio part, right?
Right.
Bro, you're talking about in them days you want 1,000 24 by 36 posters. That was like $3,000.
Yep.
The little 12 by 12s, you want 1,000 of them? $1,000. It's like, not to mention pressing up a fully retail ready fucking barcoded CD that's going in stores.
It's like almost $2 per CD package usually.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
So you're in $2,000 just for 1,000 probably.
Yeah. Every bit of it.
More than that. Music videos weren't even a thing, and if they were,
they weren't.
Like Lil White back in 2003, he in his interview said that video for I Show Will cost $30,000 or $40,000.
And look at it.
That's what I'm saying. And back then,
Steven can do more with that camera right there.
Yeah, but like that. And same thing with like, who was it that I talked to? That one of the other interviews we did, Sonny. When Sonny was talking about Street Flavor, he said he spent $30,000 for the pistol video.
The pistol video. Yeah, so man. Things were very, very, very different then, man. Like, we ended up having well over 40 in that album. Yeah. But the impact it made.
Oh, bro.
It was worth it. You know what I mean?
Y'all won SCAs.
We won the SCA awards, yeah.
For Album of the Year.
Album of the Year.
And it wasn't like, who else? Do you remember anybody else that was nominated that year?
It's on that list right there. Yo Gotti, Lil Scrappy. Like,
yeah. It wasn't just like.
It wasn't, no.
A nobodies.
It was no foo-foos.
Yeah.
No, it was all big dogs.
Yeah. That's not a Nashville-based award show. That's Southern.
That covered everywhere.
Southern Entertainment Award. So it was like.
And that album at one point had 3 songs on the radio at once.
Walk with a Limp, was that the biggest one from that record?
Nope. Walk with a Limp. We thought that was going to be the one, right?
Yeah.
That's what we thought. Of course, the consumer is your.
I know Issues was big.
That was the biggest.
Yeah. That's the biggest one on this.
How you couldn't escape? It's Top Dollar. How you couldn't escape that in the street with Picture This? You couldn't escape Issues on the radio in 2003.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You were sick. I was fucking sick. It was to the point to where like it was so normalized to me to where when I heard it, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Usually like when an artist gets a song on the radio, they telling everybody they cutting it up.
You heard it so much.
Bro, somebody.
Oh my God, turn it off.
Yeah, man. Somebody pull up beside me, man, songs on the radio. Man, cut it off. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even. Initially, I didn't even like the song.
That's usually how it goes, though, ain't it?
I didn't even like the song. If you listen to my verse, bro, my verse is literally forced. Like, Tiffany had already done her parts and there was gaps because Bobby and Stack kind of already wrote a skeleton of the song. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So all I had to come in and do was like fill in blanks, and I just was not feeling it, dog. Yeah. But everybody loved it.
Yeah, dude, that's how it works, man.
Everybody loved it, man. It's so crazy.
So that made a big impact. Like, was this? Had y'all met Jelly yet during this time?
Yes. So Jelly is actually on the Flossaphy album on that skit.
Yeah.
Where he called Bobby's. Yeah. I think that's around the time me and Jelly made that first song that he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then y'all met him. Was it at the like a club or something?
Mutual friends.
Did Bravo go to school with him or something?
Yes. So he went to school with him, and then also we had mutual friends that we would be at the same place at the same time.
Right.
So that's how that kind of kicked off. And then Bobby was like, "Hey man, you should make him a beat, and we'll take him to Switchyard, which was the studio."
Oh yeah, the one we talked about.
Yeah. And because even though we were recording Flossaphy at Babs, we were still doing other shit with Mike at Switchyard.
Oh, y'all's names are still in there. When I went there to record,
no shit.
Where y'all signed the...
Did you take a picture of it?
I don't think so.
Bro.
Or maybe it's on one of the video clips I did with Seal
classic.
But it's definitely, y'all's names are on there for sure.
It's classic, man.
Yeah, but so that's when y'all met him, and that's when I guess y'all the.
But yeah, he was definitely around. And then also like he was doing the freestyle battles and shit during that time. Yeah, man. And during that era, that early 03 era, we were doing shows all the time.
That's when y'all were hitting up them skate centers.
Yeah.
Well, you need to talk about that for a second, because I went there and did skate center shows in 07, years after y'all.
Yeah.
And people, when I first started going there, they were asking if I was bringing y'all, and they hadn't been there in 3 years.
Yeah.
And they were saying that whenever I went to do shows, they were giving me things that we couldn't do because of the craziness that happened when y'all were there.
Oh, it was a frenzy. Yeah. Bro, I got VHS tapes that will blow your mind, dog.
You need to
get
converted, dog.
Like,
there's a computer.
It's wild. Like, you would have thought we were the biggest mainstream artists alive.
That's what they were telling us. They said they treated y'all, because you got to think Tullahoma and Shelbyville and all those places. There's nothing. It's small town.
Especially then, like there was no
internet,
nothing, no source of entertainment. So like when some artists or something came through those towns, it was a big deal. Yeah. Especially when you pulled up how we pulled up, it was like, whoa, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Because they said y'all were signing. They told me that y'all were signing pictures and doing like meet and greets and stuff.
Yeah.
And selling out of like pictures and like.
Bro. So like. You know how big a skating ring is.
Yeah.
So my mom would be in the corner doing pictures.
Yeah.
The line would be from her to the opposite corner of the skating ring.
Yeah, and that skating ring was huge, dude.
Yeah.
Because we performed at the very end of it, and the people just kind of crowded around.
Bro, it was nuts, man.
They were saying people were grabbing it. They told me that like they were like happy to have us there, but it was a smaller scale. It was cool, but like. They said that there was one night, I think somebody, like a lot of the people were grabbing at y'all's like jackets and stuff.
Yeah. Real Kevin Gates stuff.
Yeah. So
but I didn't kick nobody.
Right. But yeah, that just to show you, and again, what I said in the interview with you and Bravo is, had y'all have had social media, it would have been a rapidy rap, dog. Y'all were before y'all's time. Y'all were so ahead of y'all's time, dude.
Not even social media. If we would have had a major push once.
Yeah.
Just once.
Yeah.
It'd have been a rap.
No, for sure.
It'd have been a rap.
Because not only was y'all's music as good or better than a lot of the stuff that was out at the time.
Yeah.
Y'all were very animated, charismatic, and I mean, just be real. Like there wasn't a lot of white dudes that was like doing it like then, other than Stack.
Yeah.
Bubba was just coming out around then. Of course, you had the ones before Stack and Eminem, and obviously Eminem.
Right.
But like, that's really what. Like
it's like it kicked it off.
Yeah.
From where we're at anyway. You know what I mean? But for sure.
That Flossaphy, that was definitely y'all's biggest.
For sure. Yeah, man.
That stuff happens.
I'm trying to think. I skipped a bunch of shit, I'm sure, but.
Yeah, but I mean that's the gist of like those first two albums.
First two,
for sure.
yeah.
And then, I mean,
things happen, and let's see, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, 2004. We done. So from, let's see, probably the end of 2003. Bobby, like we weren't really like where we were together every day, busting moves. Like we really wasn't together every day.
Y'all just
because I had so much wild shit going on, and he was still trying to do music, and he was still cutting records and stuff. And he actually had songs on the radio during that period himself. By himself.
Bumper to Bumper. He had that one.
He had
the solo project.
No. This is before his solo project.
Okay.
It's just when it was just him. He didn't have a project out or nothing, but he still knew people from
the connections.
Everything.
Yeah.
Man. So the Watch What You Say, produced by Coop with Skinny Pip on it.
Yeah.
That was on the radio. But at the time,
Coop produced that.
Yeah, but at the time that was just him and Bobby. That was just Bobby, Bravo, and Skinny Pimp, right?
Yeah.
And then it ended up going on the Behind Bars album. I still wasn't on it. I didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
Behind Bars was literally thrown together in a week or two.
Now is that how did y'all meet Tone? Did y'all meet Tone like just?
We already knew Tone.
Okay.
Tone also went to school with him.
Okay, gotcha. That's right.
So Tone would come to the studio when we were doing the Picture This sessions. Tone would come to the studio.
Yeah.
And he ended up on a couple records on Picture This.
Yeah.
I love Tone's voice. I was
for sure, dude. One of the best rap voices ever, dog.
I was like, when he comes on, he just commands the attention.
Dude, yeah, for sure.
So we were cool. We stayed cool. He was on that CD, and then on Flossaphy, he was on Walk With a Limp.
Yep.
Killed it.
Yep.
And then during when we were kind of fizzling out on the personal level, me and Bobby, and we were just doing our own shit.
Yeah.
Me and Tone was still cool. Me and Tone, let me reverse.
No, yeah.
See, we was all together every day.
Yeah.
For forever. But then it ended up just being me and Tone for about a 6-month period. Mm-hmm. And we was together every day. We was hitting clubs every night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when we was in the club, I mean, the DJ would still be like, "Oh, Topdollar." Yeah. They didn't know no different.
Yeah.
So me and Tone started dabbling in music, just making some stuff by ourselves. And I don't know, man. It just, when shit hit the fan and we kind of clicked back up together, I think I just told Bob, I was like, we can't do it and not include Tone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's literally just hung with me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Been there, because we was going through some shit.
Yeah.
And Tone, back in them days, Tone would get on your head about me, for sure.
No, yeah, for sure.
For sure. And that's why I was like, man, we got to include him, man.
And he was a big part of that Behind Bars album. Like, he was...
Huge part.
He was snapping,
Huge
bro.
part,
He was on damn near every song, it seemed like.
So when I said, like, we literally had a week or so to put that whole project together, because we had a deadline, because we had to be at Selecto Hits the day before I had to go.
Oh, and you were having
to sign the agreements.
And you had to go. Yeah.
So we rushed that album. That's why I'm not on all those records.
Yeah.
Right. We mastered it. I think the day. Shit, I don't remember. But
so you didn't get to do what you did with the other two albums because you just didn't have time.
No, and what you do here on there is like it's either a forced record or it's like something that I had sitting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I ain't put on anything yet.
But bro, y'all still, even with that being rushed, y'all had some bangers on there.
Tim
Swinging
Hill.
on them.
Well, Swinging on them was me. That was the only beat I made on the whole album.
Yeah.
But it was one of my favorites though too.
It's one of my favorite beats you've ever made.
Yeah, it's super hard.
The Cashville was dope. I mean, it was dope. It was a dope.
Yeah,
some dope songs on there.
I think we owe that album to Tim. Bro, without Tim, that shit would have never existed.
Was he having to pump those tracks out quick because of
multiples?
Yeah.
Like we were doing like 4 or 5 hour blocks, and he would churn out multiple beats during them sessions, and record us, and then somewhere find time to mix it by a day or two.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He's a machine, dog.
Sure.
And yeah, without him, this shit wouldn't have happened, man.